It's the weekend, so y'all know that means we're talking about new metal albums that dropped this week. Plus, I got a short but sweet unboxing for you. Join me. Welcome, metalheads. I'm the host of Heavy Metal Philosophy and writer for Metal Digest, JonBarbas. Make sure you stick around to the end of the episode for this week's album art of the week. And before we jump into the top 5, I got a couple of the big album releases I got to talk about, and then we'll get it. This was one of my favorite bands in college, and they have proven themselves to be one of the most consistently good alternative metal bands. Chavevel has a new record called Bright as Blasphemy, and I can't wait to spin this one multiple times. Hey, and one more before we jump into the top 5, Aurora Wave with Monument Reggae Metalcore. I got my hands on this one early. Y'all know what that means. My written review is already published in Metal Digest. Links in the description to all my writings. Coming in at number 5, Lotan with Yetzirah. This is melodic black metal out of Denmark. And don't let that genre description give you the wrong idea. It's not melodic as in there's a lot of clean singing, a lot of clean arpeggiated guitar melodies. This is a very aggressive record, and I love the harsh vocals on this. The melodic really more means the high fidelity production and the way that the riffs are arranged. There are occasional moments that are more atmospheric and less heavy, but they just serve to serve up, no pun intended, the next heavy part. So I really dug this one. You will too if you check it out. Coming in at number 4, Justice for the Damned, Stay Relentless, Deathcore out of Australia. And once again, don't let that genre description trick you. This isn't deathcore in the 2025 sense. This is more deathcore in the 1999 sense. This is death metal riffs with hardcore vocals as the genre was originally coined. It's a super pissed off record and basically my favorite kind of core music that there is. Coming in at number 3, Varmin with Band of Brothers, melodic death metal out of Finland. I fired this one up, and from the very first keyboard solo, I thought, this sounds like Children of Bodom. And there's a reason for that, because this is the one side project, but now main band of Janne Varmin of Children of Bodom fame. They got a new singer from Insiferum, and the quality of this matches what you would expect from musicians of this pedigree. It's non-stop action, high energy from the beginning to the end, but it never gets dull because this band knows exactly how to ride a groove for all it's got, and then they switch immediately when it's required. They don't waste any effort. Dynamic expertise here. Make sure you check it out. Coming in at number 2, Insight, Savage New Times, thrashy groove metal out of Arizona. And this band's motto is no gimmicks, no triggers, no backing tracks, just metal. And when you listen to this record, you'll know exactly what that means. This is some seriously old school, no nonsense, dirty, heavy groove metal. But don't let that no nonsense moniker fool you, because that doesn't mean it's simple. These songs have dynamic arrangements and quite clever compositions. The drumming on this is outrageous. The guitar solos on this are outrageous, and the vocals are brutal. So, check out Insight. Hey, and before we do number 1, I want to show you something. We got us a little gift from Reigning Phoenix Music, so let's check this one out. Whiplash, huh? That's right. You're gonna get whiplash if you listen to this week's number 2, Insight, Savage New Times. Can't wait to break into this. Let's get in here. What do we got here? Oh, yeah, it's green. I was hoping it would be green. Yes. That is nice. I love the subtleness of it. Kind of swampy. What's in this? Oh yeah. Look at them dudes. Those are some rough looking dudes. These are the guys you run into and you're like, uh-oh, but then they turn out to be super cool and you have a beer with them and you kind of feel bad for prejudging them. That's what these dudes look like. Oh yeah, we got lyrics. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I dig it. You will too. Make sure you get Insight, Savage New Times. Coming in at number 1, Based, with Colossal Death Metal out of Denmark. And I have been looking forward to this one for years. This band had my 2022 Riff of the Year with Ecclesia. They gave us an EP shortly after that. I wasn't satisfied. I need a full record from these guys. Absolutely love this band, and they did not disappoint. In fact, they surprised me because it wasn't their usual Bolt Thrower Worship, highly groovy, old school death metal. They've incorporated a lot of rock and roll and a lot of trad metal into this one, but it didn't dilute the death metal at all. It's still so brutal and so groovy. I'm gonna be spinning this record a lot this year. Longtime subscribers know that the Dealer's Choice segment is the segment that allows me to break my own rules, and I'm double breaking them this week because I got 2 picks for Dealer's Choice because Panopticon released 2 records this week. Longtime subscribers will have heard me singing the praises of Panopticon as one of the best representations of American black metal, one of the few American black metal bands that has a American folk sound. They don't just sound like they're Norwegian heroes. Well, this week he released a pure folk record called Laurentian Blue. It's just American folk music straight out of Appalachia. And then a compilation record of black metal called Songs of Hyrath. So if you like Panopticon, check it out. My favorite album art this week came from Anthrodenia. Unspeakable horrors emanating from within. Death Doom out of Canada. First, let's talk about the art. Then I got something to say about the music and that album title. But first, this album cover rules. I love the cube art style. I love that it looks like pen and paper, hand drawn. I love that there's the cube, and then there's also the honeycomb on the other side of it. It looks cosmic. It looks like it's swirling into each other. I don't know if it's in space or in the quantum realm, but something unsettling, something that's not supposed to happen is happening here. And speaking of that, let's talk about that album title, Unspeakable Horrors Emanating from Within. That is the quintessential, stereotypical death metal album title. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, okay, here we go. But then I listened to the music and yes, actually, this music merits an album title like that. A lot of death metal bands, they try to sound horrific by making discordant sounds, but it doesn't really sound scary. This sounds scary. Listening to this is to know dread because they actually build tension. It's not just discordant. The arrangements, the compositions actually build tension. There's subtle use of effects like flanger on here. They go a long way. It only takes a little bit. You don't have to ham-fist it into my face. These guys, they know that less is more, and it has a much greater effect. So killer album art and killer album. Now, as we close the episode, I want to talk about 2 bands that were on this week's top 5, Insight and Based. If you're curious about Insight's motto of no gimmicks, no triggers, no backing tracks, just metal, I'll have a link to the podcast where I interviewed them about that here. And if you're curious about what made Based want to incorporate AC/DC and Jake E. Lee style riffs into their death metal, then I also had them on the podcast the week before this one, and you can just click right here for that one. Thank you so much, but most importantly, read philosophy, listen to metal. I love you.